morning, everybody. Today, we're going to be doing some reminiscing. Now, here's the thing. Over the weekend, let's start with Friday, because Friday, I made another one of those predictions that there would be a Friday night news dump and we get a whole lot of new information about certain individuals that we've all come to know and love. Well, one in particular. And, and then I went, my son had a basketball game out of town. So my wife and I drove out of town, went to the game. What's really cool is that my son's team have won their conference championship outright, their regular season conference championship. So the parents, a lot of the parents of the people on the team decided to spend the night overnight in town, down in Winona, Minnesota. And we had a good time. Had some drinks, had some fun. It was a good time. Celebration. And so I didn't spend a whole lot of time on the internet. Although I did glance at my phone once in a while and notice some really interesting things happened over the weekend. Yes, thank you, Johnny Hellcat. By the way, let's say hello. Hi, hello, Camel. I did get your, by the way, I did get your message, Camel, this morning, and I don't subscribe to the Washington Post. And so I went to go, well, I'll tell that story later. Hang on. Let's say good morning, Word Lotus, Jason Burns, Sarah, Tyler F., Sean, Johnny Hellcat, Diesel, Dave, Sean. I already said, did I say Sean already? I did. Okay, that's everyone so far. We'll get a few more coming in, but let's go back to my weekend. Okay, so I'm looking at my phone and I'm updating and I'm seeing all the things that are happening. My God, I always say, oh, I'm not going to talk about this again on Monday, but holy crap. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But first, so today is reminiscing day, because we'll get into that soon. But, oh, by the way, I do have my reparations coffee. I needed a Bubba cup full of it today, though. Holy God, there is so much. So, before we go on, though, I thought maybe I'd do a little ditty for you. As I was on the internet, people are very creative. And there's someone named Graham Verdon. And it's at Graham Verdon, GrahamVerdon. And he has a Twitter handle, a Twitter account that's called Headline Rhymes. And I thought, wow, I don't know how I came across it, but it's actually pretty cool. So I'm going to just do a little ditty for you here. Enjoy. Jussie was a friend. Yeah, he's been a good friend of mine. But lately something changed, it ain't hard to define. Jussie paid me to beat him up and call it a hate crime. Now they're watching me with those eyes, and they're tracking down that rope, I just know it. And all those Chicago cameras late at night. Now I wish I was in Jussie's world. I don't want Jussie's world. Where can I find a lawyer for that? I played along with the charade, but the whole plan just seems kind of strange. I feel so dirty when he brings up the news. I want to tell him we'll get busted, but he hands me all this loot. Now they're watching me with those eyes, and they're tracking down that rope, I just know it. And all those Chicago cameras late at night. Now I wish I wasn't in Jussie's world. I don't want Jussie's world. Where can I find a lawyer for that? Now I look in the mirror all the time, hoping they won't see through me or notice that it's just a clothesline. That isn't the way it's supposed to be. Jussie's World. I hate Jussie's World. Where can I find a lawyer for that? All right then. I need to find. Hey Scribe, how you doing? Hello Prospero and Tarkata, and who else joined us since I started my little ditty? Hey, one of you people know Tailed Feature. I mean, Tail doesn't really know me, and I ran into him on a stream on, I think I ran into him on Monkey in the Morning once, but he doesn't know who I am. But could somebody contact Tailed Feature? I actually want to record that with him playing, and I'll contact Graham Verdon, just get permission to do that. But I think that'd be funny. Alrighty then. So. My God, there's been so much going on. There's so much going on. So the big news this weekend is the two Nigerian fellows. God, why do they have to be Nigerian? Why? Next thing you know, one of them's gonna have some Irish blood in him. Somebody, and then that's gonna mess me all up completely. I'm half Irish too. I'm half Irish and Nigerian. Our Nigerian fellows have decided that, you know what? We don't want anything to do with this nitwit anymore, and so we're going to turn tail on him, and so they've decided that they've given the police a lot of information. Now, the police, in some ways, have been... What's the word? They've been cautious about giving out information publicly. However, the private sources have been all over the place and have been feeding our good friends Rob Elgas and Rafer Weigel and lots of other people. Now, actually, CNN finally is reporting this too. And so the thing is, apparently, the gentlemen from Nigeria have told police that they've been paid to, fake this crime. They were paid $3,500 apiece before they left for Nigeria, and they were supposed to get another $500 when they came back. And apparently Jussie Smollett, I figured out how to say his name. It's Smollett. Like mallet, but small with an A and an S. Smollett, and I found that out because his sister actually, he's a whole family full of actors. And thanks, Scribe, appreciate it. You dropped a note for Tail. Hey, it's a whole family full of actors, and his sister was actually in a really good movie called The Debaters about some this debate team from a historically black school that came and debated. I think it was either Yale or Harvard. But anyway, and I saw something where she said her own name, and it's Smollett. Not Smollett, Smollett, whatever. It's Smollett. Anyway, so the Nigerians have told the police a lot of things, and that's why they're released. They're completely cooperating, and in fact, they're being they're in a protected space near the loop held up in a hotel where they are being protected by police and continuing to give information. Also, apparently, there's going to be a grand jury convened sometime in the next couple of days because I believe they are working on pressing charges against Jussie Smollett. I'm going to say it right. Try to say it right the rest of the day. Anyway, so now there is fun stuff with this investigation. So let's get into Rob Weigel because he's the one I liked, or not yet. Rob Weigel, did I say that right? No, I'm sorry. Rob Elgas. It's Rafer Weigel and Rob Elgas. So let's get into this little Twitter feed here with Rob Weigel. As we know, okay, so as first reported by Fox 32 Chicago, someone reports that two officials familiar with the Smollett investigation, confirmed to ABC detectives that they were able to confront the two brothers with evidence that they purchased the rope found around Smollett's neck. And it says that Ace Hardware Store. It's actually some local hardware store called the Crafty Beaver. The Crafty Beaver. I think I know her. Anyway, and also that the brothers agreed to cooperate with police who are investigating whether Jussie Smollett made up the story after police threatened to charge them with battery and hate crimes. And this is part of a thread. I think that's okay. That's the end of that thread. And then, but attorneys representing Smollett decided to release a statement. And I'm going to read this statement in my typically dramatic form. Here we go. Oh, this is not all of it. I want the whole statement. It's precious. Oh, it's a thread. Here we go. All right, here we go. This is the statement from Jussie Smollett's attorney. Below, please find a statement from Todd S. Pugh and Victor P. Henderson, attorneys for Jussie Smollett. As a victim of a hate crime who has cooperated with the police investigation, Jussie Smollett is angered and devastated by recent reports that the perpetrators are individuals he is familiar with. He has now been further victimized by claims attributed to these alleged perpetrators that Jussie played a role in his own attack. Nothing is further from the truth, and anyone claiming otherwise is lying. One of these purported suspects was Jussie's personal trainer, who he hired to ready him physically for a music video. Let me just have a little aside here. Jussie Smollett's not a very good singer. He plays a singer on Empire, but he can't sing. Anyway, sorry. I just want to say. Let's see. It is impossible to believe that this person could have played a role in the crime against Jussie or would falsely claim Jussie's complicity. See what they're doing there? They're trying to kind of say that the Chicago police are lying. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let me read the rest of this. Jussie and his attorneys anticipate being further updated by the Chicago Police Department on the status of the investigation and will continue to cooperate. At present time, Jussie and his attorneys have no inclination to respond to unnamed sources inside the investigation, but will continue discussions through official channels. Oh, lovely. Isn't that a lovely letter? Now, apparently, so they wanted Jussie to come in for another interview over the weekend, and all of a sudden now they're negotiating whether or not he's going to come in for another interview since the weekend's already over. Let's see. Sarah, he needs to be thrown in jail for as long as the attackers would have gotten and pay back all the money spent investigating. You know what? I agree with you 100%, Sarah. Remember what my biggest beef with this was? Well, not my biggest, but one of many beefs I've had with this. They put 14 Chicago investigators on this case. How many? I want to go back and go through all the records of the Chicago Police Department spanning the entire city and see if they've ever put 14 investigators on a murder in Chicago. I'm betting they didn't. I'm thinking, the mayor of Chicago is Rahm Emanuel. He's a big Democrat, big wig, kind of high up in the party, and he's or is Rahm Emanuel still the mayor? I might have that wrong. He might not be mayor anymore. I can't remember. But anyway, the mayor really wants this case solved. Anyway. All right, so let's go back into Rob's feed here. Let's see. Latest statement from the attorneys. We just did that. And then ABC News reports, Jussie Smollett, that they did the, here we go. This is the article I wanted to check out. All right.
So Jussie Smollett attack. Brothers tell police that Jussie Smollett paid them to stage attack. Official says the new evidence shifted the trajectory of the investigation after brothers cooperate, police say. So, the two brothers told Chicago police that they were paid by Empire actor Jussie Smollett to orchestrate and stage an attack on him. A law enforcement official briefed on the investigation told ABC News. Detectives are trying to corroborate. I've got monkey lips right now. Are trying to corroborate and confirm their account, but thus far, police have not independently verified the allegation, the official said on Sunday. On Saturday, police said they are eager to again speak with Smollett about his alleged attack early January 29th, after two brothers were arrested in connection with the attack, agreed to cooperate with police. Now, something else funny about this. I went back and watched my first stream after this happened. I didn't even realize that this attack happened the day before I started talking about it. So apparently I knew it was bullshit from the beginning. Because for some reason I thought it was a few days earlier, and that was just interesting because I go back and watch my streams just to see if I can how well I'm doing. Just I try to critique myself and try to get better for you. I'm trying to get better for you. You right there, you. All right, let's go on to this article. Good morning, Vortex. Good to see you. Anyone else new pop in while I was rambling? Gosh, there's a whole bunch of people in here now. By the way, as always, here, I'm going to just flip this a little bit before we go back. Right down here, there's that arrow down there. If you are looking on a computer screen, it says share. Please share. Please share with us with your friends and family and anyone who loves a little morning news and entertainment. Although, I don't know. Am I entertaining? I try. I don't know. Also, if you're on a phone, though, you might have to turn your phone to portrait. You know, this is landscape, and then this is portrait. Turn it to portrait. Get rid of the chat, and there's that arrow. It'll be right. Where's my phone? It'll be right there somewhere. Anyway, share this. Share this. Also, I do have a Streamlabs too. If you feel like donating, that's great. If you don't, I'm cool with that too. Right now, I'm just trying to get better for you. All right, let's get back to the article. I go on asides a lot too. We can confirm that the information received from the individuals questioned by police earlier in the Empire case has in fact shifted the trajectory of the investigation. Oh, you think? We reached out to the Empire cast members' attorneys to request a follow-up interview, said police spokesman Anthony Guglielmi. Hello, Chadwick Dupree. I see you popping in there. Hey, also, if you're a lurker, just put one thing in the chat so I know you're here and I'll say hi to you. But and then you can lurk for the rest of the time. I just like to know who's here. I like to know. I like to know who I'm talking to. I really do. Okay. Guglielmi reiterated in a tweet on Sunday that Chicago police are not in a position to confirm or deny or comment on the validity of what's been unofficially released. There are some developments in this investigation, and detectives have some follow-ups to complete, which includes speaking to the individual who reported the incident. And that's what his tweet is right there. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for tweeting that out. I appreciate it. All right. One of the brothers was Smollett's personal trainer. According to the statement from Smollett's attorney, detectives confronted the two brothers with evidence that they purchased the rope found around Smollett's neck at a local hardware store. Two officials familiar with the Smollett investigation confirmed to ABC News. Was anyone with me? Well, I know a lot of you have been with me every single day, and I appreciate you a lot, man. It's cool that y'all come back. I must be doing something okay. I appreciate it. The day, I think it was maybe the first or second day afterwards, when I found out that Rob Elgas was really the best thing on the planet as far as this story goes. Him and that Crime Watch blog and Rafer Weigel. And either the first or second day, we got a description of the rope. And the description was that it was not really a rope, but it was like a thin clothesline-like rope that was apparently brand new and out of the package. Do y'all remember that? Some of you who've been here for a while? Anyone remember what I said about that rope back then when I heard that description of the rope? I said, wow, I bet if they check that Target store or some stores around there, they'll find the people who bought the rope. Guess what? The people who bought the rope have been confirmed to have purchased the rope. A couple of Nigerian brothers bought it at the Crafty Beaver. Ooh. Subscribe if you're still here. Well, we'll talk about this. I'm thinking of writing an ad for the Crafty Beaver. But I want to do it in a dramatic fashion. Well, whatever, anyway. All right, let's move on. Somebody else just came in, too. Zero the Hero, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hello, how did you know I was lurking? Because I always look at how many viewers there are and how many people approximately I've said hi to, and so I know somebody's lurking. There's always somebody. All right. So anyway, Google Amy said they reached out to Smollett's attorneys Friday night. We made our intentions clear. He said late Saturday, Smollett's attorney, Todd S. Pugh and Victor P. Henderson released a statement regarding the report, and that's the same statement. Now, and then they did have, let's see, two of the brothers who were captured on surveillance video from the night of the attack were taken into custody. We knew that. Then Donald Trump Jr. decides to tweet about this. It appears that Jussie tried to manufacture a hate crime to make Trump supporters look bad, and most of the media not only uncritically accepted his lies or as facts for weeks, but attacked those who questioned the validity of the story. Now, that's what I said we're going to be reminiscing. That is something we will be reminiscing about because, hello, Gulf City Ben. Welcome. Good to see you. That's something we'll be reminiscing about because today I want to go back and look at some of the tweets that people had made about this early on and even up to recently. It's amazing. It's amazing how people just ate this story up, and it just fit their narrative. And we're gonna reminisce. We're gonna reminisce. Oh, I didn't hit the transition there. Let's get back on here. Okay, so anyway, we know that they took their stuff, took their phone records, knocked down their door, but Chicago police did not immediately comment on the brothers' level of cooperation, aside from the fact that they provided information to the police. Well, they must have provided some pretty good information because they were released, and they're keeping in touch with them, and they have them in an undisclosed location near the Loop in Chicago, waiting for more information. And they got a grand jury that they're putting together. That's some news I just heard this morning. So it just tells a little bit about the attack, due to new evidence, days of blah, blah, blah. And let's see. The investigation remains ongoing. Video evidence does not indicate that anyone else was present at the scene at the alleged incident. Okay. Here's another interesting thing, too, that now they said the lawyers here are named Todd S. Pugh and Victor P. Henderson. Apparently, sometime, where's Rob Elgus? Apparently, they had a different lawyer. They had this high-powered lawyer, the lawyer that was representing Michael Cohen, and this is not him. These are not him. That lawyer's name is, let's see if it's in here somewhere. I think it was right near the top. Sorry, I need to find this. Okay. What the hell is his name? Well, I don't know. Anyway, it was a different lawyer. Now he has new lawyers. So I don't know what happened to the other lawyer, but these guys are different guys. Anyway, so all right. So that's that. All right. Also, real quick, just and then Anthony Guglielmi, this shows his tweet here. While we're not in a position to confirm or deny it or comment on the validity of what has been unofficially released, there are some developments in this investigation, and detectives have some follow-ups to complete, which includes speaking to the individual who reported the incident. This dude is, I think he's, oh, here it is. Rafael Weigel did that. This dude seems to be going down. So, here is, so there's some dispute about his attorneys too. Where is it? there's something, and I'm gonna have to go look at that. Jussie and his attorney anticipate being further updated by. Okay, that's the statement. Here it is. Jussie Smollett's representatives are denying Michael Monaco is repping Smollett after Monaco said he was on the Ro Khan radio show. So this guy that was the attorney for Michael Cohen of the Trump mess fame, and he said on some radio show that he was going to be representing Jussie Smollett. When then Jussie Smollett's reps are denying that he's repping them, then later it says here Monaco is out. And then up here it says Monaco is no longer representing Jussie Smollett. Per Rokon, a source with direct knowledge says there was a disagreement about the decision to release yesterday's statement. He is now represented by Chicago attorneys Victor Henderson, Todd Pugh. Then later, this gets weird. Monaco did not tell Fox 32 News directly that he is no longer representing Jussie Smollett. That came from Smollett's media rep. So he's taking down an earlier tweet. So we don't even know if this guy is involved anymore. But it's just, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of weird stuff going on. Then, let's see. That's the police guy. Okay, that's that. And then, responding to a question about the Smollett case going to a grand jury, Chicago Police Department spokesman said, "We have some information that needs to be corroborated and verified with Mr. Jussie Smollett before I could answer that question." So, oh man, I don't think the police, I don't think they're very happy with Jussie Smollett. And I agree with everyone who says that he needs to be charged and have the frickin' book thrown at him, and they can throw him in a jail cell and throw away the key for a while. Now, I've just gotten a few little things here. I'm going to find out what these are here real quick. Okay, there's a whole nother story that's coming on that is probably going to take the place of this, but I'm not going to talk about that till tomorrow. All right, so when I said today that we'd be reminiscing a little bit, just a couple fun articles. Oh, wait, let's see. Oh, hey, Max Del Rio. Nice to see you. Any lawyer who represents Jussie has a fool for a client. Jussie is convinced he can talk his way out of this mess. Yeah, here's... I would love to be in a room with Robin Roberts right now and just ask her, this interview that you did with Jussie Smollett, when that interview aired on the morning, Thursday morning, that's when it aired. When that interview aired on Thursday morning, and you knew the rest of the interview was going to be aired on Nightline that night, and all this stuff kind of came apart in between those times, did y'all ever think maybe you should take the second half of the interview and not air it? Although I'm glad you did, because it was made for a great Friday show for me. So I got to go through that thing, and I laughed my ass off. Anyway, do you think maybe, I wonder if y'all were thinking maybe we should just stop. Good Lord. Anyway, all right, so let's do some reminiscing. So this article from the 17th, yesterday, from Mediaite. Let's put this on the screen. Did the media jump the gun on the Jussie Smollett story? In light of new details in the investigation of the alleged assault, actor Jussie Smollett, fingers have pointed at the media for jumping the gun on the story. That sounds familiar. Anyway, in pushing back against that, there's an emerging effort to draw a distinction between rapid-fire activists and celebrities on social media and members of the press. Are you kidding me? Dave Weigel, whatever he goes by. Well, no, now, Prospero, you said media is clueless as ever. No, you just wait. Just wait. Because just let's go through this, okay? You're gonna like this, I think. So there's, again, in pushing back against that, there's an emerging effort to draw a distinction between rapid-fire activists and celebrities on social media and members of the press. Dave Weigel of the Washington Post, for example, made it the distinction in a tweet on Sunday. Dave Weigel writes, Twitter often blurs the media into a blob of celebrities, pundits, and randos, and it does a disservice to the reporters who cover the story the right way. That's responding to someone just saying it still remains unclear what exactly happened, didn't. So maybe we hold off on sweeping what this means analysis. Yeah, right. Journalists relayed Smollett's claim and initial police statements seemingly backing it. Journos aren't the villains here. Santa's Black Twitter. I don't know, whatever. And then on CNN Reliable Sources, Vox's Liz Plank emphatically made this point, saying she couldn't find a reputable media outlet reporting that the attack was motivated by MAGA or included a statement about MAGA country. I couldn't find one, she said. We can't confuse celebrity tweets in the media and the press. This is a fine idea, and there should be some distinction when referring to the media at large, but in this case, the facts simply don't bear out the premise that the press was not involved in an early pylon. In fact, dozens of reporters tweeted these very things on the day the story broke. These are only some of the examples. Let's take a look at these reporters, members of the press, and journalists from... Now, let me, just before I go through some of these... Let's remember where this initial story blew up from. It's a show called TMZ. TMZ, if you're not familiar with TMZ is a celebrity gossip kind of in-your-face, gotcha journalism. Journalism's a very loose term, but it is definitely celebrity press. It's not anything that's very heavy, but apparently somehow TMZ got the exclusive on the initial story. And as we've discussed over the last couple weeks, we're pretty sure that the manager for Jussie Smollett is the one who provided TMZ the story, knowing probably that they would just tell whatever they said, because TMZ did not do any follow up with the Chicago police or anybody to confirm anything they said. They just put out the story. That Jussie Smollett was attacked. The words were brutally and viciously attacked by two white men who used racial and homophobic slurs. Notice I almost have this by memory. Racial and homophobic slurs, and after they beat the crap out of him, and he was hospitalized and had broken ribs, and after they beat the crap out of him, they said, this is MAGA country. Nigga. TMZ is the official source. Now, the reason I knew about this happening was not because I saw it on TMZ. I don't give TMZ the time of day. I saw it from a Washington Post tweet, not from a TMZ tweet. But I went back to the TMZ story just to see the original story. And then they had the updates, and there was a discrepancy about the MAGA country thing that wasn't reported by anybody else, by the Chicago police. Because then I went and I'm like, okay, I got to find somebody in Chicago. So I just kind of started tapping through and trying to find some Chicago news. And I happened to find this Rob Elgas guy who was actually doing some real reporting on the ground with the local police. TMZ started this story. So let's reminisce. So they're saying, these people are saying, oh, no, there weren't any real media figures doing this. Well, let's take a look at these reporters, members of the press, journalists from, a staff writer at the New York Post. Quote, I hate when cops investigate this kind of blatant shit as a possible hate crime. This is obviously a hate crime. Zachary Cusson, January 29th, 2019. Newsweek writer Jason Lemon. Empire star Jussie Smollett, victim of homophobic attack by MAGA supporters. We're told when he walked out, someone yelled, Aren't you that friggin' Empire nigger? Quoting the TMZ article. Senior reporter at the Daily Beast, Kevin Fallon. People in MAGA hats recognized and then beat and poured bleach on Jussie Smollett, calling him that faggot from Empire. Anyone who thinks supporting you-know-who isn't tantamount to providing artillery for weaponized bigotry needs to take a hard look in the mirror. Update. After learning more, they wore ski masks so as to cowardly not be recognized as they shouted, "This is MAGA country," and tied a rope around his neck like a noose. Kevin Fallon, senior reporter at the Daily Beast. Oh, where'd you get that information? Oh, I guess it was from TMZ. Writer for Boing Boing, Zini Hardjardin, something. Donald Trump owns this. Donald Trump supporters own this. Everyone who allows racist and homophobic words to go unchecked owns this. Words are actions that lead to more actions. Words are actions that lead to more actions. No, words are words. Actions are actions, bitch. Anyway, oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. Like the attack on Jussie Smollett. Ernest Owen from the Philadelphia Magazine. Trump MAGA supporters came after a black gay man with a noose in Chicago. They yelled, "This is MAGA country." That's how far we've come. That's how far we haven't come in 2019. Oh, it's the current year. Hoping for justice and vengeance for Jussie Smollett. Now who's going to defend black LGBTQRST hoping for justice and vengeance. You know what? That would be a really great line for Samuel Jackson in the movie about Jussie Smollett. I'm just saying. Justice and vengeance! Plus, he could use the N-word a whole lot, because that's kind of what Samuel L. Jackson does. Vibe magazine. Viola Davis, Tracy Ellis Ross, and more react to Jussie Smollett's hospitalization. Remember that? Hospitalization? Hilarious. Fucking hilarious. I just swore. I usually don't swear on stream that much, but it was appropriate. Okay. The result of an attack by two MAGA supporters. Producer for Nightline on ABC News, Ignacio Torres. Jussie Smollett beaten in a homophobic attack by MAGA supporters. Empire cast getting armed guards. I'm pretty sure they changed their mind about the armed guards, but oh no, that was after the letter came. Oh, we'll talk about the letter in a minute too. That was after the letter came. They cut out the words, and then they had, and that little Smollett Jussie thing. Remember, we talked about that too. If you were here the other day, I think it was Friday, because we went through that interview, and he was talking about the letter. And the weird thing about that thing is there was a printed label that on the letter, we'll show it to you later, that said Smollett Jussie. It's had his name backwards, like someone took the label maybe off a locker or off a coffee cup or a cubby hole, I'm guessing it had to be from the set, because who writes your name backwards? And then he even referenced to himself when he was talking about that letter, they referenced his own name backwards. I thought that's really weird. And the FBI, remember, is investigating that. And they also, when they went and busted the Nigerians, they took a bunch of magazines with missing pages and things. So I think we're going to find out, like I said, we're going to find those Nigerians not only sent that letter and mailed the letter, but that label's got to be somewhere on their set. I'm just guessing. Let's see. I'm just going to go through the chat for a little bit, because I wonder if they rehearsed the attack at Jussie's house before it was performed. You know what? There is reports that the two Nigerians said that they even had rehearsed the attack. TMZ is the junk food of the news world. Yeah, it sure is. They used to be better, but they've slid. If they just stick to, if TMZ would just stick to their bread and butter, where they go up and do impromptu interviews of people and get interesting stories, and not try to get all fucking Don't try to be a real news organization because you're not good at it. You don't have the credentials, nor do you have the people who are really out there investigating things. Kevin Fallon has already changed his Twitter bio. Oh, yeah, to minimize the Daily Beast. Yeah, I know, I saw that too. Let's see. Don't worry about swearing. Tim Pool dropped 4 F-bombs the other day. Well, I know, but that's just not normally my style. But unless I'm on Monkey's show, then I'll swear all the time because he swears like a whatever. I wish I could mentally bomb the U.S. back into the 80s so we could get rid of all this BS SJW to racist crap. I know, I'm an 80s person, and my God, were they perfect? Of course not. There were things that happened, but everyone wasn't trying to be a victim or trying to make, the worst things, try to make the worst out of the littlest things. And, victim culture is just so rampant, and everyone wants to be a victim. And it's, like I said, it's grievance grifters. People are trying to make money by using that particular route of being a victim. I think that Jussie had an album coming out. No one knew his damn name. I laugh because my wife has watched every season of Empire. And when I asked her, do you know who Jussie Smollett is? She's like, who? I don't know. I never heard of him. Oh, he's that guy that plays Jamal on Empire. I didn't know that was his name. I said, do you know any of the other people any other of the actors on that show? And she watches it. She's watched every season. Well, not really. I said, how about Terrence Howard? Oh yeah, that's the guy who plays the head guy. And Taraji P. Henson. She even know Taraji P. Henson's name. She's been all over the place lately. No one knew who this fucker was before this thing happened. Anyway, I swore again, didn't I? Did I swear out loud? I did. Oh well. Contributor Forbes and Slate, Mark Hughes. Oh, this is great. The rabid animals in MAGA hats who attacked Jussie Smollett need to be hunted down aggressively without mercy and assuming on sight that they're armed and an imminent threat. Drag the scum in chains to the smallest, darkest hole and throw them down forever. Notice a slight pattern here? Okay, these rabid animals in MAGA hats. They're asking you to attack people in MAGA hats. Now, I don't wear a MAGA hat. Most of you who are around here know my feelings on Trump. I mean, I think I agree with his policies. I don't always agree with how he does things. But I'm not a MAGA guy. These people are basically telling you to go out and kill some MAGA people. I'm shocked that it's really surprising me that there already haven't been some sort of riots or rallies or something along the lines of, what happened in St. Louis or any of these, Black Lives Matters things. I'm shocked there hasn't been more violence. I know there was a guy who pulled a gun on some people in, I think it was in Tennessee maybe, pulled a gun on some people who were wearing MAGA hats because they got in an argument. But they're promoting violence. It's astounding. And this is what? No media people did this? This guy's a contributor to Forbes and Slate, Mark Hughes. I've read some of his stuff. Here he goes again. Slate Magazine. The Slate Magazine Twitter account. These attackers reportedly yelled, "This is MAGA country," as they beat Smollett and wrapped a rope around his neck. Editor at the LA Times. Yes, it's just another fucking day in America. But Lee Daniels also says of Jussie Smollett attack, "We have to love each other regardless of what sexual orientation we are because it shows we are united on a united front." Is that like the Russian front during World War II? It's a war. This is your united front? Fuck off. In Gadget Rider, Violet Blue, red hat equals white hood, period. Let's see, and I should have given you the date. These are all on January 29th. In case you need to ask who Jussie Smollett is, well, you needed to because no one knows who the frick he was. Nobody even, I guarantee you, 3/4 of America don't even know what the hell Empire is. It's Dynasty for black people.
and my wife, who's not black people, but she likes the show. There's people who like I like the show. It's an enjoyable show. Although after the first season, it got kind of stupid. But the first season was brilliant. The first season of Empire was flipping brilliant. Go back and watch it on Hulu or wherever they might have it. It's a great show, but then it got kind of hokey afterwards. But anyway, and then she was responding to someone named Justin. MAGA terrorists. MAGA fucking terrorists. Hello, Cynical Lindsay. Nice to see you. Good morning, Diesel Dave. And Black Romeo. There's a whole bunch of new people that just popped in. Well, hello, everybody. God bless America. Hello, Check Your Logic. MAGA terrorists surrounded our brother Jussie Smollett last night after he got in from a late flight for work. They poured bleach on him, beat him, fractured a rib, tied a noose around his neck, and spat disgusting slurs at him while yelling, "This is MAGA country." BuzzFeed writer Ryan Shockett. Jussie Smollett was called homophobic and racist things. They put a rope around him and poured bleach on him and beat him and said, "This is MAGA country. These are the people our president is emboldening. This is what the red hat stands for." Yeah, let's go shoot some red hat people. Okay? Let's just go shoot some. Writers. Gina, whatever the hell her name is. This is heartbreaking. Empire star Jussie Smollett beaten in a homophobic attack by MAGA supporters. Tell me they didn't. Tell me these. Nope. Media didn't jump all over that at all. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a tiny bit. Writers. Oh, this is good. Writers for Teen Vogue and Washington Post. Broderick Greer. This Jussie Smollett news is heartbreaking. The MAGA element is unsurprising. Red hat wearers are a threat to black LGBTQ people all over the country. It's just, we told you these things would happen with the rise of Trump. He has emboldened his followers to commit acts of violence against racial, ethnic, and sexual minorities. How the has he done that, you jackass? Good God. Just straight bullshit. Straight bullshit. It's insane. The other day when Ellen Page, she's that chick who went off on a rant about Mike Pence. If I have time, I'll show you that one. But she blamed this attack on Mike Pence. Now let me ask you something. How many words have you heard from Mike Pence since he's become the Vice President of the United States? I'm a political junkie, and I don't recall Mike Pence saying shit about anything. She's blaming, he's against gay marriage, he wants conversion theory, and all these bullshit rumors about Mike Pence. Mike Pence don't think about you. Mike Pence doesn't talk about you. Mike Pence don't give a fuck about you. He doesn't. He hasn't said shit. Freelance contributor to Cosmopolitan and Glamour magazines, Melissa Blake. People say that wearing a MAGA hat doesn't mean you're racist or homophobic. The men who attacked Jussie Smollett wore MAGA hats. The Covington boys wore MAGA hats. It's making America great again only for straight white males. Those hats are all about holding up the patriarchy. If I was closer to a wall, I would bang my head against it right now. And also, let's say that this incident, let's say perchance, the incident were actually carried out by two white men wearing MAGA hats. Now, we know this didn't happen, but, or at least we have to assume by now that it didn't happen. Let's say it did. Has anyone ever heard of the phrase, not all. Anytime there's a terror attack by... I don't want to say it. You know what I'm going to say. But do you ever hear the phrase, not all? Or any other incidents that are by a certain race or demographic or whatever, the phrase, not all. Apparently not all doesn't apply if you're wearing a MAGA hat. Senior writer at Rolling Stone, Reedy Chark or Brody, whatever, I can't say your frickin' last name because it has too many consonants. Empire Jussie Smollett was violently assaulted in Chicago by two men yelling racial and homophobic slurs. They dumped an unknown chemical on him, stated, "This is MAGA country," and wrapped a noose around his neck. They were trying to lynch him for being an LGBTQ and person of color. AP, NBC News writer Brian Latimer. People who say LGBTQ Americans should be thankful they don't live somewhere like Saudi Arabia need to pay attention to the details of this story. America is not safe for queer people, especially if they are people of color. My heart goes out to Jussie Smollett. You are an inspiration. You're an inspiration for what? America is not safe for queer people, especially if they are people of color. You know, that's a phrase. Now, I'm going to have you start listening for this, because anytime you start hearing people who like to talk about bad things going on in the world and how things are terrible and they're really, everything in America sucks, and then they'll always bring out the phrase, especially for LGBTQ people of color, or especially for trans non-binary people of color. They keep adding some of this other stuff to people of color. Well, guess what? When I walk down the street, nobody can look at me and go, that's his sexual orientation. Never. But I know that most people, even though I'm pretty light-skinned, can tell that I'm a people of color. There's a lot of people on Black Twitter who are really, really annoyed by this story because they keep talking about the fact that he's gay and he's part of the LGBTQ community. But nobody... Did I switch mics? Does it sound better or worse? I don't know. Do I sound weird, anybody? Vortex says the audio sounds different. Did you switch mics? No, I keep just going back and forth. Is that what it is? Yes. Yeah, oh, Midnight. You know what? Midnight in Exile. You show up just to tell me that I'm not white? What's wrong with you? Black girl. Is safe for queer people. If Muslims are nearby or if the queer in question decides to make themselves the victim. Right. Yeah, you know, the Post nightclub shooter killed more LGBTQ in one night than LGBT were killed in the past 50 years. Yeah, I know. Orwell called it newspeak. None of us are people anymore. We're the sum total of our diversity checklist. You know, yeah, you know, someone made a good point. I can't remember who it was, but you know, when you get down the intersectionality thing and gender is a spectrum, you know, if you really take it to its most extreme, you get back to down that we're all individuals. Maybe they'll figure that out someday, that we're just all individuals. I was also struck by the portion of Jussie's interview with Robin Roberts when he said, "If I had said the attackers were Muslim, people would believe me." Was he shopping his story around before the attack? Yeah, you know, it's good. It's good. It's possible. P-Dog Knight, know the way. Do I know the way? I think I do know the way. Anyway, thanks, Math Queen. You just got here. Hello. Hi, how you doing?
And Max W. Reverse. Zombie Teddy. Hi. How you doing, Zombie Teddy? Good to see you. Okay, let's move on. I'm cracking up because I haven't gone through these in a while. There's a whole bunch of them. This is memory lane, I know. But let's see. Film critic, Village, and to the Village Voice and the Guardian. Have the MAGA ghouls who put Jussie Smollett in the hospital been invited to the White House yet? Oh, isn't that clever? Isn't that clever? Hey, dipshit. Jussie Smollett was never hospitalized, so shut the fuck up. I'm just gonna keep swearing. I'm gonna keep swearing today. I'm glad I'm not monetized on YouTube because this would be monetized. But hey, by the way, I'd like to thank my sponsors today on the Morning Night Live. That would be y'all, because I don't have monetization or any of that shit. So you're my sponsors, and you're my sponsors just for being here. Hey Sarah, put that link up there. Okay, HuffPost writer Kimmy Yam. That MAGA violence targeting Jussie Smollett is particularly horrifying because it's not new. Oh, really? All the MAGA violence? All that MAGA violence? Yes. It seems to me, I've watched many videos for the last few years, and all the MAGA violence was MAGA people getting beat up for having MAGA stuff on. Oh, wait, the one woman died in Charlottesville. And yes, that was terrible. And that's the only thing you can come back to almost every time. And maybe the guy making the fake bombs. 2 out of thousands of incidents that I could name that were MAGA violence. And the Charlottesville wasn't even MAGA violence. That wasn't a MAGA guy. That was some nitwit who was at that rally who got scared because people were attacking him. And if you know what, I watched, speaking of Charlottesville, I'm going to go on and I'm on a rant today. I watched live streams of that day from Charlottesville from a couple different people who were on the ground reporting. And it's funny that the news media never noticed that, first of all, the police, when they were trying to get the guys to go, the dickheads with not the tiki torch guys. I mean, they weren't carrying them that day, but they were trying to end their rally, and they filtered them right into the people who were protesting them. Also, if you watch just any of that live stream, it was always the Antifa nitwits out there attacking the other idiots that are idiots. Okay, they were the ones who started the violence in Charlottesville. They're the ones who started the violence in Seattle. They're the ones who start the violence at the MAGA rallies. They're the ones who started the violence in Boston when they were supposed to have some rally in Boston, and it was just some Indian guy and a few people were doing a free speech rally, and 45,000 people showed up. The Antifa guy started fighting with the police every freaking time. It's the Antifa nitwits starting the violence. Even in Charlottesville, those dickheads that were doing the tiki torch shit. But and you know what? It's funny because people bitch about President Trump. There were some good people on both sides. Well, the second day was just a rally about the statues. That there are people who wanted to keep the statues. So some of the dickheads from the day before the tiki torches were there, but there were also just some people who go there every year and say, we're just honoring our ancestors or blah blah blah. But the other dickheads were there, so all the Antifa guys are there and starting shit. So all that violence. I mean, the live streams I were watching were started by the Antifa nitwits. Even the kid who was getting beaten on the ground in a parking garage. Well, yeah, if you take that 18 seconds of video, yeah, he was getting beaten, and then the guys stopped and just said he's down, we're on our way. But you cut it off soon enough, all you see is guys beating some kid on the ground. Well, if you look at the 30 seconds before that video, that kid and 2 of his friends threw a brick at the head of one of the guys that ended up beating the shit out of him. The kid on the ground is one of the guys who had a metal pole in his hand. His friend had a brick, threw a brick, the kid's with a metal pole, and the guys spun it around and got him on the ground and beat his ass. And then once they knew that they didn't want to hurt him anymore, they got up and walked away. If you watch the whole entire video. Anyway, I'm getting heated. I need some coffee. I'm getting heated. Okay, I feel better now. If CPD had done their job... wait, what did I miss here? Okay, let me go back up here. Let's see. Talking about Charlottesville. They seemed... they seemed to be happy that she died just so they could use her to push the narrative. Oh my gosh. It's really weird how whenever someone talks about anything that has to do with Trump, and they always bring up Charlottesville, and they're almost giddy to bring up Charlottesville. P-Dog Night, there was an Antifa guy with a gun that was threatening the guy in the Charger. That's what I heard too. Razorfist did a video on it. Yep, I think that's part of that. Can I steal your argument? Yeah, you can steal my argument. You can steal anything I say. The cops ran both groups together on purpose. Yeah, they said that they told the cops to stand down. They pushed the groups together. I mean, they filtered the guys. I don't want to say bad guys and good guys because I don't think they weren't all good. They're not good people. Neither. I think they're all assholes. But they pushed the white nationalist group together, pushed them into the Antifa group. I'm going to read this. The governor pulled the legal protest permit at the 11th hour. They wanted something to kick off, and it backfired on them. Absolutely. But you know what? It's easy because you can still blame it on the guys that you don't like. You can blame it on whoever you want to when you do that. It's kind of bullshit. If the Charlottesville Police Department had done their job, none of that would happen. Absolutely. Selective editing for the moral win. Exactly. Good or bad. Part of our history. Yeah, I know. It sucks. Yeah, so fuck those guys. Anyway, I swore again. Vanity Fair. Empires. Fox's Jussie Smollett was hospitalized. See, none of these motherfuckers even did any fact checking. I knew. So this is 12 p.m. the 29th. Okay, so this is the day of the attack. These people, none of them did any damn fact checking at all, because I knew in the first 24 hours that he was never even hospitalized. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a reporter. I don't fact. These people are so... All they did was they read... Somebody saw the TMZ report. All of them parroted it without fact checking at all. How me in my freaking dining room figured out within 24 hours that he was never hospitalized. Within 48 hours, I knew the rope was a clothesline and not even a rope. And these assholes don't even know. I mean, these are journalists. Jesus. Oh, good God. Good God. Hospitalized after suffering a racist and homophobic attack by two MAGA supporters. Oh, nobody said... Oh, Dave Weigel. Nobody said MAGA? From the Chicago local press, which was brought up in the discussion over Dave Weigel's tweet, as well as the CNN discussion, Fox 32's anchor and reporter Tia A. Ewing. Now, thankfully, the other Fox News reporter, Rafer Weigel, began to find out the truth. But this Tia E. Ewing, the two men, both white and wearing ski masks, viciously. Have you ever been in I talked about this the other day. Have you ever been in a fight with two people? Those two Nigerians will beat your ass. Viciously attacked Smollett as he fought back, but they beat him badly and fractured a rib. Again, fact checking. Nobody fact checked the damn facts. He did not break a rib. I figured that out after the first day. How did these asswipes not know that he did not have a broken rib? Now, TMZ is the only place that reported he had a broken rib. Did any of these freaking journalists bother to call the police or to bother to fact check this shit? They beat him badly and fractured a rib. They put a rope around his neck, poured bleach on him, and as they left, they yelled, "This is MAGA country." And that's going by the TMZ report. Empire star hospitalized after possible homophobic. You all are journalists, dumbasses. This from Raw Story. Empire star Jussie Smollett brutally attacked and anti-gay Trump supporters put a noose around his neck. Blah, blah, blah. This one was shared with a headline by this guy who writes about the spread. This guy writes about the spread of fake news. Breaking. Empire star Jussie Smollett brutally attacked by anti-gay Trump supporters who put a noose around his neck. Oh my goodness. John Migda, how you doing? Welcome to the show. I don't know if you've been here before, but I am glad you are here. This is her. And then a few freelancers. Sean Robinson, this is horrific. Absolutely horrific. I'm in tears over this. Empire star Jussie Smollett. And she references the TMZ story. Who the fuck uses TMZ for the source of anything other than some celebrity gossip? God bless America. Amy Siskin, oh, she's a jewel. She's a freaking jewel. If you're not familiar with Amy Siskin, just go on her Twitter feed and bathe in her brilliance. She's a moron. Oh my God, Empire Star. Oh my fucking God. Empire Star Jussie Smollett was brutally attacked by two men who beat him up, put his head in a noose, and screamed, "This is MAGA country." This MAGA shit is getting worse. And the other thing, so it's on the heels of the Covington kids who were wearing MAGA hats. They actually were. There's pictures of them wearing MAGA hats. The Covington kids. Oh, that story. This came off 2 to 3 days after the Covington story blew up in their faces. Oh, but here's another one. This MAGA shit's getting out of hand. Every freaking MAGA story that's come out has been a fucking hoax. You'd think journalists would have looked up this story and questioned the validity. If this isn't proof that journalists don't have an agenda to push, then I don't know what does. You're right, cynical Lindsay. That's true. Comedian and political commenter Ricky Smiley. I can't believe it. Jussie Smollett fell victim to a hate crime this morning in Chicago. Here are the details on his attack by MAGA supporters. Now let's see what he linked to here. Oh, this is Ricky Smiley wrote his own story based on the TMZ story. You motherfucker. You didn't. Acted like you were actually a journalist. At least let's see what he wrote. Empire star Jussie Smollett has been hospitalized in Chicago after a violent attack. One authorities are deeming an apparent hate crime by white men who yelled, "This is MAGA country," according to TMZ. So he got his information from TMZ. In fact, the authorities hadn't deemed it a hate crime yet. An apparent hate crime is not a hate crime until you say it's definitively a hate crime. But he just went by the TMZ story. He didn't do any investigating reporting. He didn't do shit. The incident occurred around 2 a.m. Tuesday, January 29th. According to reports, two men wearing ski masks placed a noose around Jussie's neck during the attack. Per that grape juice. What the fuck is that grape juice? We're going to find out. Let's just go back through here. Oh, John, that's terrible. I don't know what that even... Okay, whatever. Jussie had recently received a letter with cutout letters that spelled a derogatory statement, "You will die, black fag." Chicago law enforcement is investigating the attack as battery. Interesting. How did he call them and find that out? Smollett was later released from the hospital. The 35-year-old actor confirmed that he was gay during a 2015 interview on Ellen and hoped that other gay individuals would feel less alone in the world. What the fuck relevance does that have? Good God. Let's see what the grape juice says. Let's open this one. The grape juice. What the hell? The grape juice. Okay. So this dude's getting information from the grape juice, who got the information from TMZ. Remember I was talking about how this is kind of like a game of telephone? Or some people call it Chinese whispers. I don't know. I've never heard of that. I've heard just the telephone game you play in school. Exclusive Empire star Jussie Smollett hospitalized after homophobic attack. In a developing story, that grape juice has learned... Oh my gosh. You know how they learned it? Somebody at that grape juice watches TMZ. Oh my gosh. In a developing story, that grape juice has learned that Empire star Jussie Smollett, I gotta say his name right, has been hospitalized in Chicago following a homophobic and racially charged attack. Well, they have learned something wrong because he wasn't hospitalized, asswipe. He just went to get checked. Oh, and then this is look at how this. My God. Sources add that the 35-year-old who resides in Chicago while filming the hit Fox series was later attacked around 2 a.m. this morning by two men wearing ski masks, both of whom placed a noose around his neck. Now, that's some interesting writing right there. Okay, so both of them placed the noose around his neck? Both of whom placed a noose around his neck. Remember, that's the telephone game, see? One story writes it one way, and then he adds this, both of whom placed a noose around his neck. Well, no. So that's how these stories just get like this. Oh my God, it's so bad. This is just crap. This is someone's the Grape Juice blog, and that's where this guy named, what the hell is his name? Brandon Caldwell of Ricky Smiley's morning show. Oh, I see. He's a radio jock. Good God. It's amazing how this happens. None of these people did it themselves. None of these people looked up anything themselves. It's just embarrassing. Chadwick, have you been here for a while? Well, I'm going to say hi if I didn't already. Good morning, Chadwick Dupree. Another factor that's not addressed in media who retreat is media who retweet or share the tweets from celebrities and activists. There was a lot of famous people tweeting that day, including politicians and members of the media who share their tweets. So they got Howard Dean, they've got Adam, Homenko. Who the fuck is that? Adam Parkumenko, the Democratic Coalition. Okay, yeah. The Democratic Coalition tweets, the hate Trump emboldens. Empire star Jussie Smollett was brutally attacked by two men, both white. Both white! They're white! Two white men! Which is what the TMZ article said. Which is what they said the Jussie Smollett spokesman said. That the perpetrators were white men! Wearing ski masks, they put a rope around his neck, fractured a rib, and poured bleach on him as they left and yelled, "This is MAGA country!" Full Fronter, writer for Full Frontal with Samantha Bee and The Daily Show. If only Congress had funded that wall to protect Jussie Smollett from the white terrorist who broke his rib, called him a nigger, and maggot, poured bleach on him, and put a noose around his neck while shouting, "This is MAGA country!" Look at the tweet count, count on that one. 52,000 people liked that tweet. The above-mentioned commentary from a Vox contributor were said on CNN's reliable sources. with Brian Stelter. Here are some CNN tweets. This, for example. Now, Keith Boykin. Let's see who Keith Boykin is. Does it say? Oh, it doesn't pull up on here. If I pull it up on... Well, anyway. Keith Boykin. Again, referring to a frickin' TMZ report. So it's the same goddamn thing. Empire star Jussie Smollett was a victim of racist, homophobic hate crime attack. 2 white men called him a faggot and a nigger and put a rope around his neck, poured bleach on him, and yelled, "This is MAGA country!" Sorry, I almost forgot. This one since deleted by Ana Navarro. Everyone loves Ana Navarro, everyone's favorite Hispanic, conservative, Republican, Trump-hating hoe. I just saw Jussie Smollett in Miami last week. I can't believe this happened. It is sad and disgusting and deplorable. Empire star Jussie Smollett beaten in a homophobic attack by MAGA supporters. April Ryan, White House press corps. This attack on Jussie Smollett is a hate crime and should be treated as such. Responding to Derek Johnson from the NAACP, this racist and homophobic attack on Jussie Smollett is deeply troubling. Lives are at risk as this divisive, hateful rhetoric continues. We pray for his recovery and await any next steps we can take to support him and the many unnamed victims of these crimes. So now we're making it, there's unnamed victims everywhere. Everywhere! April Ryan is, of course, the very high-profile White House correspondent for Urban Radio Networks and is a regular contributor on CNN. That's not second-guessers or critics blurring the line. That's just a journalist doing the thing that they are being told they didn't do. NPR talked about it. Howard with Howard Kurtz. Let's see. The two discussed the difference between jumping the gun and simply reporting on the latest information, and there is a difference. Liason and Kurtz also... What? Okay, they left out a word here. Lena Kurtz also said it would be equally irresponsible to jump the gun. It would be equally irresponsible to jump the gun now and declare the Smollett case decided in the other direction. Well, they've already jumped the gun and decided it was in some certain direction. So who cares? Like Cory Booker's statement. If I can find it, I only got a few minutes left, but Cory Booker was, talk about a jackass. Maybe it's in here. Is it in here? No, it's not. Yeah, it'd be irresponsible to jump the gun now and declare that the Smollett case decided the other direction. Absolutely true and correct in the above tweets does not imply otherwise, but it does show that the notion that members of the press were studiously avoiding piling on after the TMZ story broke is simply not correct. So see, Prospero, Mediaite actually got this one right. If you're still here. Mediaite actually got this right and said that they jumped the gun and they're, in not so many words, they're a bunch of dickheads. Okay, they didn't say that. That's my term. Okay, enough of this crap. I thought I maybe had, do I have, no, I don't. I don't have Cory Booker up here, and I'm not going to look for it, but he's an idiot too. He's trying to say, basically the whole thing, oh, here, I know where it is. Let's go to my notifications. Speaking of Brian Stelter, the fact that he's quoting this feminist, tabulous Liz Plank, host of Vox Media, the fact that one robbery was fake does not mean robbery is not a problem. The fact there is one false rape accusation does not mean there is no rape. We have to cover these issues as trends and patterns. Go to hell. My response, remember when Dan Rather made the fake things that tried to get George W. Bush in trouble, and the whole phrase fake but accurate came out? So that was my response to bonehead Brian Stelter. Fake but accurate, or as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez would say, factually wrong but morally right. This is CNN.
God, these people are they're just frickin' out of their damn minds. They're out of their minds. So annoying. So annoying. So annoying. Anyway, so my only other story that I'm going to do today, I don't know if you're familiar with Kamala Harris, which my friend Ace calls Kamala Toe Harris. She is a Democratic senator from the state of California, and she is also running for president. And so, yes, Maniac Man, that is the Spartacus idiot. Corey Spartacus Booker. Yeah, and you're right. Yes, check your life. No one's saying racism is not a problem, but it's certainly not as prevalent as you would think. My gosh, maybe it's just because maybe in the Twin Cities we're much more enlightened, because I spend a lot of time in basketball circles, and kids just are kids and whatever. I don't fuck it off. My God. Oh yeah, you are still at Prospero. Good. Blind hog. Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about Kamala Toe Harris here. So she did an interview on this show called The Breakfast Club, which right now I'm just going to kind of have her in the background here. She did an interview on The Breakfast Club, and she was talking about how she used to smoke pot back in the day, so to speak, because they asked her, you ever smoke weed? And she's like, oh yeah, I smoke weed. I've got Jamaica heritage. If I didn't smoke weed, I'd be not being true to my heritage. And I smoked pot back in the day. Back in college, she graduated from college in 1986. She and I graduated the same year. And, oh, yeah, I smoked pot back in college. And, I used to smoke pot and listen to Snoop Dogg and Tupac and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait, whoa. Hold on, Kamala. You got a little timeline issue here. Because Snoop Dogg and Tupac were not popular when we were in college. They, in fact, they were still children when Snoop Dogg wasn't. Snoop Dogg's almost my age. But they weren't hitting anything when we were in college. I mean, we were still, we weren't even quite up to NWA yet when we were in college. Tupac and Snoop started hitting in the 90s. So you were smoking pot during the 90s when you were a prosecutor in San Francisco? But anyway, that's not even the story here. So she said something about, what did she say? She said that, of course I smoke pot. My daddy's Jamaican, and if I wouldn't smoke a pot, I wouldn't be being true to my heritage, blah, 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 blah. Well, the people in Jamaica did not take too kindly to that. Let's read this article from The Gleaner, which is a newspaper from Kingston, Jamaica. Pot-smoking joy seeker, U.S. presidential hopeful Kamala Harris faces scathing criticism from her father. Her dad is not happy about this. United States presidential hopeful Kamala Harris faced scathing criticisms from her father for attributing her support for the legalization of marijuana to her Jamaican heritage. Half my family's from Jamaica. Are you kidding me? Kamala Harris responded when asked if she smoked marijuana during an interview on The Breakfast Club in New York last week. The 2020 Democratic presidential hopeful acknowledged, too, that she has smoked marijuana and inhaled a subtle jab at former U.S. President Bill Clinton, who said he smoked the drug but did not inhale. She suggested that her Jamaican father's side of the family would be disappointed in her if she did not support the legislation of marijuana. But according to the news website, Jamaican Global Online, Donald Harris has categorically disassociated himself and his family from this travesty and slammed his daughter for stereotyping her heritage for political gain. Way to go, Kamala Toe! My dear departed grandmothers as well as my deceased parents, must be turning in their graves right now to see their family's name, reputation, and proud Jamaican identity being connected in any way, jokingly or not, with the fraudulent stereotype of pot-smoking joy seeker and in the pursuit of identity politics. The website quoted Donald Harris saying in a statement, "Speaking for myself and my immediate Jamaican family, we wish to categorically disassociate ourselves from this travesty," he said. So, oh my gosh. And you know what? She is probably the one Democrat that the media has been most, what's the word? I don't want to say, I mean, supportive is the real word, but I want to say, I think that the media is trying to make her out to be the next anointed one in the party. They want to make her the candidate. At least the media does. I mean, she immediately got as soon as she announced for president, she immediately got a town hall meeting from CNN. Everyone's all excited about her. She's getting buzz that nobody else is getting. Like when Tulsi Gabbard, for example, said she was going to run for president, the media kind of just said, a lot of people just said, fuck this. You know, they don't want anything to do with her. They don't want anything to do with, I don't know who else is. I mean, even Cory Booker. I mean, Cory Booker's not getting, although it seems like the media wants either Kamala Harris or Cory Booker. Okay, one of those two. And probably at best, they probably want them both. Do they realize that we are only, I mean, this is just some pandering shit to black people. We're only 13% of the population, and only about half of us actually vote. Just like everyone else in the country, only about half of anybody votes. Don't pander to us. It's so transparent that you're doing this. You know, I mean, that she just basically had her Hillary hot sauce moment, if you ask me. That you know, oh, of course I smoke weed. And I was listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg and smoking weed, and I'm part Jamaican. You know, we smoke some weed down in Jamaica now, don't you, baby? You know I do. And then she started talking about us cooking bolognese, and then the Charlemagne the God looks at her like, "What the fuck is bolognese?" That's Italian sauce. Okay, so hey, all right, that's the only article I'm doing today. I you know what? The Jussie story just keeps on giving. I'm hoping I'm gonna see if they do something about a grand jury or what new comes up today. I'll watch the Twitters, I'll watch the news feeds, and tomorrow I'll have some different stories for you. I've decided that I'm gonna do my 200 subscriber special later this week. I will announce that when I'm going to do it, and I'm gonna have a few guests on that I've already kind of predetermined on that. Some people have helped me even to get to this, to help me get this far. So I'll announce that later. Let's see. Let's go into the chat a little bit. If you guys got things that any questions or things that you want to pop out there, just say them, and I'll address those real quick as I close some windows and put myself back on the screen here. Let's see. There was one other article, but I'm not going to do it though. I'll save it for tomorrow. That Kamala Harris one cracks me up though. She's trying to be all black. Her mother is from India, as in that India, not that India. She's an Indian, and her father is from Jamaica. So there's already, one of the big things on that. Maybe we'll go through that interview tomorrow. It's an interesting interview because right now there's a big controversy of whether or not Kamala Harris is, one, black enough, or even if she's really black. I mean, because she's not what they call an ADOS, which they call a descendant of slaves, which is a new term that's starting to pop out there. It's just another bullshit term that people are trying to make themselves, different. And, because what the problem is, there's not a great traditional relationship from people who are from Africa versus people who are born here who are descendants of slaves. And so now this ADOS label starting to come out a lot. And, is she really black? Is she, her father's Jamaican, but that's not black to a lot of African Americans, and her mother's Indian, and she's married to a white man, and blah, blah, blah. God, skin color politics is a mess, man. All right, so let's get into the chat here a little bit. Booker and Harris tried to pull an Obama, one term in the Senate, Congress, and running for president. Actually, Booker's in his, I want to say he's in his second or third term in Congress. He's been in more than one term, I think. I can't remember. And I think Harris, I think you're correct. Harris is in her first term. But yeah, that's her Madam Hot Sauce moment to me, just pandering to black people. Oh yeah, I smoke weed, thinking all black people smoke weed. I don't smoke weed. I'm black. I don't smoke weed. None of my family smokes weed. My wife used to smoke weed, but she's not black. I mean, come on, that's silly. Booker, and okay, trying to pull an Obama, right? What's it say? Because understanding Tulsi Gabbard is the most moderate of the bunch, which is what the Dems should be campaigning to and are centrist. You know, Tulsi Gabbard's an interesting. She's not moderate. She's actually, but here's what Tulsi Gabbard is anti-war left. But she has some of the same, like, I mean, she's, you know, kind of for universal health care, things like that, which I'm fully against universal health care. That's just me. But she's intriguing because she is one Democrat that I really like. And there are certain things about her that are more centrist. Well, at least in her history. I don't know how she's campaigning. I'll have to listen to her more. But I think she's an interesting candidate, but she's not going to get the nomination because too many Democrats, just establishment Democrats, want nothing to do with her. Let's see. I learned something hilarious. There's Portuguese in my heritage. There's 32% something else I need to figure out from my sister. Yeah, you know, I did one of those. I did one of those, not 23andMe. What's the other one? From Ancestry.com DNA test. And I already knew that because I know my natural parents, my mother is almost full-blooded Irish, but she's American, and my father is Nigerian Igbo from that, you know, Eastern Nigeria. And it was pretty cool because I was going to see, you know, hey, I was going to test this out just to be curious, and it did put like 29% of me was from that region of Nigeria, and then part of that family historically had migrated from Mali to Nigeria, and so and the Mali part was in there. I already knew that. And then my mother's side is almost all Irish, but she also knew that she had relatives that were from somewhere in Great Britain, and so there was just a little sliver of that in me. So I was like, oh, that's cool. We haven't done my kids yet. My wife's is all over the place. Czech, Pole, British, Native American, and or actually Native, well, in a region in Canada is where her mother's father's from, her natural grandfather, but so he was kind of Native Canadian, Native North American, let's put it that way. But it's really cool. We'll see how that works. So it's interesting when you do those and you go, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Anyway, but P-Dog, hate crimes against gays has increased since 2017. Of course, they'd attack Jussie Smollett. Yeah, the hate crimes figures almost, up 17% per the FBI, but there's also 1,000 more reporting agencies from 2016 to 2017. So even if they just reported their normal ones, it's not an increase in the crimes, it's an increase in the reporting of certain crimes. And when you have 1,000 more agencies reporting the crimes, there's going to be a few more. Also, they've also included non-government, or they include law enforcement agencies and non-government agencies, like the ADL and the Southern Poverty Law Center. So they report more crimes than the law enforcement agencies. Hate crimes have not increased. And also they include, again, and when they say reporting of hate crimes, here's something they don't tell you. Reporting of hate crimes, not adjudicated hate crimes. So all those reported hate crimes include all the fake hate crimes that have been around. So that's a bullshit statistic, actually. Let's see. PETA, okay, Tarkata, you must not be black. Yeah, I'm not black enough. I'm just not. Apparently I'm not black enough. I don't smoke weed. It's funny because sometimes I get the Uncle Tom thing from people, or people, some of the black Twitter call me a coon. But then on the other hand, I also get called a racist and a white supremacist until people figure out, oh, he's not white. Okay, so I get a little bit of everything. But most people are cool with me because I'm respectful to other people, and I usually have pretty respectful conversations over Twitter, although I could be sarcastic on Twitter a little bit too. Let's see. My response, you mean you don't smoke weed? Yeah, no, I don't smoke weed. Did I say I smoke weed, Max? I don't know. So Lindsay, establishment Democrats don't want anything to do with Gabbard, and hard left Dems want nothing to do with her because she's problematic. Yeah, she's got a kind of a double whammy. She's too left for the establishment, but she has just issues with the real super hard lefts too. But most of her platform is being anti-war, and that's kind of what, the one thing I didn't vote for either Hillary or Trump. And if you want to find out why, I have a video about it that I made it's basically a video about why I'm not voting for Hillary. Or no, it's the who am I voting for video. I didn't want to vote for either. But the thing I did like about Trump, that he seemed to be somewhat anti-war, bring our guys back, let's not waste our money, let's make other people pay for their own security. I agree with that 100%. Hopefully, he did all this increase in military spending. But what I'm hoping is that the fact that he's finally getting other NATO countries to start at least contributing monetarily to their own security, that maybe that'll give us an opportunity to maybe not spend as much on our own or spend as much on theirs, because we spend as much money protecting the rest of the world as we spend protecting ourselves. But a lot of that's because we need to protect our interests and whatnot, and also protect other people who are vulnerable. Let's let them start taking responsibility for their own. We can mobilize in a heartbeat. We can mobilize a unit from Wyoming to Timbuktu in a day. So, it's not like we can't do that kind of shit. All right, let's see. Everybody loves to forget that one autistic kid that got kidnapped by black teens, tortured, scalped, and had racist BS shouted at him. They didn't even prosecute the teenagers for a hate crime. I know, isn't that amazing? I think only 3 of the 4 even got jail time for that. One of them didn't get jail time for that. That's amazing to me. No such thing as Native Americans, just the first settlers. Well, true, if you think of the land bridge and probably millions of years of the earth existing and whatever. I don't know, but okay. Well, I'm a Native American. I was born here. What the fuck? What are you talking about, Dave? I'm a Native American. I'm born in the United States. There you go. Let's see. All because they thought he supported Trump. Yeah, no, the autistic kid you're talking about. Yeah, that was so fucked up. That popped into my feed today. And feed. Okay. So, all right. Well, you know what? It's time for me to go. I am overdue today, like I usually do. I usually run over, and I'm always a little bit late to my next appointment, but that's okay because I do this for you. I love being here, and I enjoy doing the stream. You know what, everybody? I'm here again. I'm P-Dog Night. I'm here Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. Eastern Time, or 9 Central is when I start usually, roughly around that time. And you'll get, if you subscribe to my channel right now, you'll get it on your notifications. Or if you follow me on Twitter, which is right down here, at P-Dog Night. If you follow that, I'll also send out notifications via Twitter so that you can get on the show. Oh, I just saw Irish Rose. Hi. How the hell are you? I didn't even see you here. Hi. I'm waving at you. See? Look. Hi. Unless you're listening at work or something. But anyway. So that's the end of the show today. Y'all, I appreciate you so much. Hit that share button down there. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe now. Or tell your friends to subscribe. Share. Share right over here. Share this with the ones you love and they care about. So that's it for the stream today. I really appreciate y'all. My name is P-Dog Night, and I'm out of here.